Hello everyone, welcome back to Lexi and Case, and yes, I have a haircut. Oh my gosh, I am absolutely in love with it. My hair is a little bit more of my natural color because I've dyed it since then, and I've always gone back to just platinum blonde and then have it fade back in. But yep, welcome back to natural hair, short-haired Lex. I didn't realize how long it's been since I've made a video, so there's a lot to catch you up on. First off, hey, come here. Come here, handsome. This is Loki. Hi, Loki. My handsome. Okay, bye. He is 11 weeks, almost 11 weeks old. I got him through a coworker of mine from her friend. So it was my coworker's friend. But that whole entire story I'm going to tell you now. I went a little insane. And my coworker said, "Hey, who wants this cat?" on her Instagram story. And I said, "Oh my gosh, like, how old is he?" And at that time he was 7 weeks. So I've had him for about a month now almost. And I was like, let me talk to my husband. Let me see what he thinks. I'll show him the cutest picture of this little guy and see what he says. And he said, obviously Kay said yes. And because he was free. She said, "Oh, okay, cool. He's in Palmdale." And I went, "Pardon?" She goes, "He's in Palmdale, California with my friend." And I went, "Okay." So she got me in contact with the friend. And her and I were talking about what day works best, what time works best on that day. And I said, "Hey, I can come Monday the 7th of April. And she was like, "Okay, cool. Can you be here before 7 o'clock? And I went, "In the morning?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Sure." Obviously, I live in Vegas. Palmdale is about 3.5 hours away. So I was like, let me plan what I'm going to do. I had to work that day before. So I worked, I went home, I ate dinner, and then I was in bed before like 9 p.m. tops. I woke up at 2, like a little before 2 o'clock, and I said, "You know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just leave now and just get there early and pick him up and come home so I can just be home for the rest of the day." And I drove out to California at 2 o'clock in the morning. I stopped in Barstow for like 2 seconds so I can walk and stretch my legs a little bit. Nothing was open. It was 5 a.m. Well, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in Barstow. So I'm like, nothing is open yet. Nothing opens until 6. I'm literally I'm about an hour out from where she's at. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just truck it. Let me get to her. I'll get food and gas and then I'll go home. And that's literally what I did. I went and I picked him up. At 7 o'clock, I stopped at a gas station. So I got there got 10 minutes earlier. And I went, got gas, I got McDonald's, and I had him in my carrier the entire drive home. I didn't stop. I literally got gas, food, and I just beelined it home. We made it home a little before noon that same day. And we got home, we got him situated, we made sure that he knew like where the litter box was, and we got him good with the feeders and everything, so he now eats with everyone else. So there's that, which is crazy. And then him, obviously the three of them were kind of iffy because of the whole Taz situation, but because he's a baby, so Loki and Alice became best friends immediately, and then Loki and Sully became somewhat best friends. Lady is still trying to warm up to him. Yesterday she did snuggle with him, so I mean, we're making progress. That's all that matters, is we're making progress. There is a whole other situation going on as well, that will maybe have to put in another video, maybe not. No, I'll put it in this one. So, speaking of Sully, since I have time, and I'm giving you updates on what's going on in our life. Sully has been having like a urinary tract infection, or in short, a UTI, for the last couple of years. But the thing is that, so when it first happened, Case was in Georgia for basic training, and it had happened, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what the hell is going on. Let me find like a 24-hour emergency vet office to take you to. So I took him there. Hang on, sorry about that. Shy got home. So where was I at? So when Case was in Georgia, this happened, like it was the first time that it happened. So I'm like, okay. So I took him to the vet. They gave him like an antibiotic shot, and then gave me antibiotics to give him for like the inflammation and stuff, because I guess it wasn't as bad then. So I'm like, okay, so I had to give him like an antibiotic for a week, and then it never happened again. And then when he moved in here, and Case came home in November, I want to say it was sometime last year. I can't remember the exact date. Case got his bike right before our wedding. Yes. So Case had to take him to another vet, and they did the same exact thing. So now this time around, he peed all over Case's side of the bed, 5 a.m. on Thursday. No, Friday. It was Friday. Peed on Case's side of the bed at 5 a.m. when Case was in the bathroom. We took off the sheets like we normally would. We just took them off, washed them, put a whole new set on, whatever. And then I was like, you know what? Let me call the vet's office, because this is the third time this has happened and the second time since we've been here. So we need to figure out what the hell is going on. So I called the vet, and they said, hey, like I'm explaining, yep, 5 a.m. he peed on my husband's side of the bed at 5 a.m. And then like a couple days ago, he peed on the floor, like right here by the door over there. And so then she was like, oh, you need to bring him in now, because it means that he has crystals and blood in his urine that we need to get rid of. And I'm like, oh, okay. So in case I'd left for the gym, because he was off that same day as me. So I'm like, okay. So Case came back. We both went to the vet that we use, that our natural vet, like our actual vet. They went and did a procedure to check to see, you know, his urine, check his urine out and everything. Sully had, so let me put it in perspective, because this is what the doctor said. She goes, when humans have kidney stones, obviously we have kidney stones and it's painful. Kidney stones are roughly about this big, all right? And you usually have a couple of them depending on how bad. According to Sully's doctor, he had about 10 of these in his urine along with blood. And they're called crystals. They're not called like kidney stones. Like that's the cat version of kidney stones, is crystals. And she's like, look, you had one that was so close that if you didn't say anything or do anything, it would have lodged into his bladder to the point where we would have to do emergency surgery. And if you didn't do anything within 72 hours, he would have died at home. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So they took a sample. They sent it to their lab to see like how truly bad it was. They gave us a shit ton of antibiotics. They're all over here on my nightstand. And there's a 24-hour one that we have to give him every single night. And we just pop into his mouth. He has 2 pills that we were giving him. Well, there was 3 pills, but one of them is a muscle relaxer, and it made him seem like very, very drunk. And Case gave him one the other night, and his whole body kind of almost shut down on us, because the other night I woke up at 3 a.m. because I was really hot and Sully was barely breathing, and I was freaking out. And I said, okay, he's still breathing and he's still alive, because he got up and went to the bathroom, came back, and then he laid down again with me. So I'm like, okay, so he's still good. But I got a call from the doctor yesterday, the day before, Monday. I got a call from the doctor on Monday, and they said, hey, we just want to check in and see how Sully's doing. And I'm like, Sully's doing great. We had to stop pushing this one medication because he just wasn't himself. And like, he was very drunk, he was very out of it, he was very like not all there. and he scared the shit out of me, so we stopped pushing that. And she's like, good. As a parent, you gotta take care of your kids, even if they're cats or dogs or birds or actual living adult children, like physical human children. You gotta take care of your kids. So he's been on medication. He has a couple more days to go. One of them runs out Thursday night, so tomorrow night. And then the other one, I believe, will go until like Saturday or Sunday morning. So it's been a long, fucking exhausting week for us, because then I had to work and Case had to work. My sister had to come in because we have him on a feeding schedule, but he has to be on a whole different food. So every feeding schedule that the cats have with their automatic feeders, we have to come in here, lock Sully in here, and feed him this special food, the urinary food, that we weren't even told about until this visit with our vet. They said, have you guys been putting him on urinary food? And I went, no, we didn't even know that we needed to. And they're like, yeah, you're gonna need to put him on that so it could help with his pH levels, because that means that his pH levels are lower than where they're supposed to be. And I'm like, well, this is my first time hearing of it. And my husband agreed, and Case agreed, obviously. And so we're both pissed still, because we've done 2 of these that they didn't say anything about special food for him to eat to help with his pH levels, nothing. So I'm like, okay, cool, great. We have to take him back in about a month. So hopefully before my trip, we can go and get him taken care of and make sure that everything is coming out right. And if we need any more medication, then they'll obviously probably give us more medication. But yeah, that's pretty much what's going on in the Denhire household right now. Is we have a 4th baby, and one of them is completely out of it. So other than that, that's pretty much it. If there's anything else, then I'll jot it down and mention it in the next one, I guess. I don't know. Other than that, this has been an update for the masses from the last month. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully Case is in it. So bye guys.